Ashley Pickle alongside Matt Stepp, and just when we thought today could not get any more, as Tepper would say, crazy town banana pants, we go into overtime in 3A Division 1 with Jim Ned pulling out the win 29-28. Stepp, unbelievable game we just witnessed.
Yeah, we thought this was going to be one of the most, if not the most competitive game of the weekend, and it lived up to it. Hallettsville behind, Jonathan Brooks and his amazing run, raced out to a 21-0 lead, and we're thinking, man, this is going to be a blowout. And Jim Ned shows a ton of grit and fight. Score right before halftime, make it 21-7, and I thought they controlled the second half. That the tempo of the game totally changed in the third and fourth quarter. And having seen Jim Ned twice this year, that was Jim Ned football. We saw in the second half they controlled the game, and then the guts to go for two there at the end, and the execution of that play. Yardley makes the great throw, and number two, I can't remember his name now. There's so much going on. I got other playoff games going on we're following, but yeah, number two makes the catch in the end zone there, and a great play call, great back shoulder call. And, Jim Ned wins the state championship.
From the first half, obviously, Jonathan Brooks from Hallettsville had just an unbelievable first half, and we'll get to that. But from the Jim Ned standpoint, when they went into that locker room, clearly something changed. What do you think the biggest differences were and the biggest adjustments were at halftime?
I think Jim Ned they had to tackle better. And I think they did. There was some poor tackling in the first half. I think there was a lot of arm tackling going on. They were sending numbers at Brooks in the first half. Brooks was just running through their tackles. And I think a combination of better tackling and probably the wear and tear on Brooks got to him, because Jim Ned's physical. They get after it. And I think that takes a toll on you, especially when you're playing on both sides of the ball. And I thought Jim Ned's depth up front wore Hallettsville down. And I think in the second half, they just tackled a lot better. And they weren't that Hallettsville wasn't breaking a lot of tackles, and those big gains were turning into 2 and 3 yard runs. And Hallettsville wasn't able to generate first downs and keep their defense off the field.
When you look at Hallettsville, and obviously there was one point where Jonathan Brooks, he had more rushing yards than Jim Ned has a team total yardage. He gets the offensive MVP tonight, completely well-deserved in my mind. That guy's just a special player out there.
He is. He really is. And I think the biggest key, Hallettsville just needed one more weapon to really take some of the pressure off Brooks. I think Brooks had to carry so much of the load this year, and they just didn't have anyone else that really stepped up and took a little bit of the pressure off of him. And I think Jim Ned took full advantage of that with wearing Brooks down. And then, for Jim Ned, I thought Wishart was outstanding. But when Jim Ned needed to make plays in the passing game, Yardley and multiple receivers were coming up and making plays. Jim Ned, at the last few weeks, has been a team that's lived in 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and they've converted most of the time. They're really good on those 3rd and medium plays, and that helps them keep drives alive and really kind of changes the tempo of the ball game like we saw. So I think that was the difference. Jim Ned just had a few more playmakers. Hallettsville had the best player on the field in Brooks, but I think Jim Ned had more playmakers and had the better team.
And I think a thing, and Tepper tweeted this out, I think about halftime, a big credit goes out to Hallettsville's defense as well in that first half. They were really keeping them in there on top of, everything else. But obviously, in the second half, there was a guy for Jim Ned that absolutely took over the game, and Xavier. What did you see from him?
Yeah, Wishart, when I talked to Coach Fanning after they beat Brock, he kind of described him as an Energizer bunny, and he is. He's a guy who's in great shape. He got stronger as the game went along. He didn't wear down. He didn't get tired. He was a guy who kept getting stronger and stronger as the game went along, and I think you saw that even on that touchdown run in the overtime kind of summed it up. He's running like that in overtime of a state championship game. It just shows you the kind of level of conditioning that he has, and he's a special player, and he's going to be around. Him and a lot of these Jim Ned guys are going to be around for another year. This is a team that's probably going to be the favorite to repeat next year because of what they bring back, despite having some really good teams in their region. I think with what they bring back, winning a state championship, this is we could be looking at a back-to-back run here for Jim Ned.
And I got to ask you too, just obviously there was an unfortunate injury that happened right before Jim Ned had the decision to go for two, or to kick the extra point and take it into a second overtime. Did you ever have a doubt in your mind that they were going to go for the 2-point conversion or not?
Me personally, I might have been a little more conservative just with the momentum kind of being taken away there, but I kind of thought Jim Ned was still going to go for 2 there, and I think they felt like they had a play that was going to work. And if you're confident in your play call and you're confident in your guys to go out and execute it, why not go out there and win yourself a state championship right then and there? And that's exactly what they did.
Exactly what they did. Man, what a day of a state championship day.
This was a pretty awesome day of 3 games, among the best that we've seen. And that's saying something, but these 3 games today were first-class football games, great games. And really the 4 11-man championships that we had, when you count Windthorst and Mart last night, we've been pretty lucky. We got 2 more tomorrow, and hopefully they're great games as well, because we like being spoiled.
Oh man, 3 of them decided by 1 point. Let that reality sink in. But like Steph said, we will be back here tomorrow for both 4A state championships. Looking forward to it, and you can catch everything, of course, on TexasFootball.com.